The big lie sold to women in modern dating.
Life has been more fulfilling for me since my mid-30s than it ever was before that. So just know that your best years are ahead of you and you are never too old and it's never too late.
This is probably the loneliest I've ever felt in my life. And I'm in therapy and I'm in a codependency group.
I'm so done.
You have so much leverage and so many options, I can't even tell you.
When the check came, he asked me for $6.
Definitely think that I will stay alone forever. My God.
Jesus Christ. Are we not opening doors anymore? Are we not
He's not coming to save you.
doing that?
Never used a dating app in your life? Well, the good news is you're about to have so much fun.
Yeah, so much fun. You see, right off the bat, we can see why so many women are nowadays struggling in dating because they've been lied to over and over by other women, telling them that they are perfect goddesses that every man is dying to be with. However, the reality is that's simply not true.
And maybe Sunday night we'll go and have a really fun night, something that you want to do. And instead he canceled on me. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm very hurt. It's just very sad for me, and I'm very sad inside.
You see, she's finding out in real time that for women, dating is easy when they are young, but it gets much and much harder as they get older, despite all the nonsense being spread on social media about how their 30s and 40s are their best times ever, because the women following this advice are having a seriously terrible time at it.
Well, it's a paradox. These women think that the more experience they get, the easier dating will be, but it couldn't be more wrong. You know, less is more when it comes to something like this. When you get more experience, I don't want to regurgitate talking points. That's what I want to steer away from. I want to try to give you guys original thoughts. But ultimately, these women come with a lot of baggage. They're older, and they're more likely to jump ship. It's strange. You'll start to notice that as these women get older, it seems that their standards are going up. Like they're expecting more now. They want to play less games. And it's ironic because when you come to a man and you're like, all right, no more games. And you tell him and you treat dates like interviews and you try to really get to the point. It's almost like these women start thinking like men, actually. They start to be more logical and trying to jump to the conclusion. And typically, when you date women, especially on first dates and stuff, you want to keep it kind of playful. And you don't actually want to be the logical, straight arrow, straight to the point type of person. You want to be playful, make them laugh. And then it's funny how when these women get older, no more games. But as men get older, they're kind of they're obviously maturing. They're accumulating more resources. They themselves are actually becoming more experienced. And this is what women absolutely value. They value an experienced man who knows how to lead, make decisions, and be that sort of man that they can look up to. And so this is when men are starting to kind of come into their own. And then women are like, no, games are over. And the guy's like, well, hold on. The games are beginning.
I'm officially done with dating right now. I deleted my apps, taking a break.
When I find that it's becoming too much or starts hurting my feelings or starts feeling like a job, I delete all my dating apps and take a break. And that's how you keep your sanity.
And he said, yeah, I already ate, but if you stopped and picked up some food, I'd eat again. Is the bar that low?
All right, so here's the thing. She says that, and she's acting like she's sort of repulsed by that type of guy who is sort of indifferent. He's like, oh, yeah, I'll eat again if you want to pick up some food. Sure, you can feed me. You can feed me, and then I'll fuck you. That's totally okay with me. Which mindset do you think works better? This type of thing that this guy's presenting, this type of mindset, this sort of indifference. He's like, yeah, I'll eat again if you bring me food. Or a guy who is like, oh, I already ate, but I would love to take you out, and we can kind of just hang out, and then I'll pay for your meal as well. No worries. Yeah, I ate already, but I'll pay for you. We could still go out to eat. Sure, I'll come along. Which extreme do you think is going to work better? Obviously, the guy who's indifferent. He's like, yeah, I mean, I already ate, but if you want to pick up food, I'll eat again. And she's acting like she's sort of angry with this sort of behavior this guy's presenting. But I would actually argue it might actually do him good. He might actually get what he wanted, which is strange. But he's kind of indifferent and kind of like, I don't really care. Sort of, I don't really care. Yeah, I ate. You can bring food, sure. And she is like repulsed by that, but I'm very curious how this actually played out. You know, maybe she actually is a woman who's like, you know what? I don't like this type of guy. He's kind of a dick. He's kind of a jerk. He's kind of an asshole. Maybe she actually didn't want anything to do with him, but you know what? Maybe she did. Maybe it turned her on more. Maybe she did exactly that. Went and picked up food, went to his place, and got dick down.
That you want me to drive to you and buy you food?
What a G, right? You got to drive to me and bring me food. It's like she's saying she hates that, but man, I don't know if I believe her.
This dude basically ordered free Uber Eats and a side chick to go. Yeah. But nope, the bar isn't that low. She has simply been confronted with the fact that the balance of power has shifted as women get older, and they start finding out the hard way that if you are still dating at that age as a woman, it's going to be way more...
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. She probably didn't like it because she's looking for something serious, and she's probably already had her ride on the carousel. Do you know what I'm saying? So she can kind of sense it. She can kind of read it when that's all a guy wants. So that's probably why she's angry. Because she's like, no, I get you're the type of guy I want, but I want more from you in order for me to realize that you'll actually commit to me and you won't continue to pass me around like all these other guys. And that's why these women are angry. Because these guys fit the archetype of the type of man they actually want. And then they get mad when this type of guy is just like, drive to me, bring me food, and that's all you're good for in my eyes.
Difficult to keep a guy interested because women always take any form of rejection as somehow a loss for the guy and never seem to reflect inward on how they might actually be lacking.
Men who are unable to be honest, men who are unable to communicate.
So I just looked at Bumble this morning and he's deleted his account. What is going on in this world? Absolutely his loss.
Yeah, absolutely his loss. Really? What exactly did he lose here? Now this is exactly the type of nonsense I'm talking about that women are constantly bombarding each other with, never telling each other the actual truth, and keep telling each other that they are simply perfect as is and that no change is needed at all.
Attract whatever you want and whoever you want just by being you.
Activate your inner goddess, your goddess energy.
I want a man that is going to provide for me, that's going to treat me like a princess, that's going to be loyal.
You don't have high standards. You just haven't met someone yet who is willing to put in the time and effort to meet your standards.
So I know that I am worth more and that I deserve more. And the thing is like I am incredibly giving and kind and loyal and sweet and funny, and I'm emotionally intelligent.
Step into your goddess energy.
Right, please drop a like on the video if you think that TikTok is just running away their brains with absolutely terrible dating advice, selling more lies to women, and comment down below what you think. Now this goddess mentality was working out great when they were in their early 20s, having every single guy drop to their knees to please them. However, as they get older and their list of demands gets longer, the guys that meet all of those requirements are not only having many more options to choose from, but they are starting to ask themselves, what do these older women now offer other than a smile and a long list of demands?
Also, these women, like in their early age, when they do have men throwing themselves at them, a lot of times they will actually disqualify these men for not being masculine enough, for sort of maybe acting too needy, maybe being too emotional, maybe showing like a lack of leadership. And what these women don't realize is that can happen to them too. When you get a man who actually fits that sort of leader and very decisive, not needy, very independent, what these women fail to realize is they will also disqualify you for not being feminine enough. And so they're very keen and aware and tend to press the button of rejection when they find a man who isn't manly enough or doesn't fit that archetype, right, of the man they picture in their mind. They're quick to reject him, but they don't quite realize they're not really in the position to be doing any rejecting because they themselves are going to be rejected for not being feminine enough. So there's a lot of that going on, definitely.
Tonight was the first official date with, I'm going to call him Superman.
Well, that didn't age well. I think I'm being ghosted. Date 3, I wouldn't sleep with him. I actually asked him if he was emotionally available, to which he replied, no, I don't think I am. And well,
Gee,
it sort of downward spiraled from there.
what a great response.
Yep. She thought that she had found Superman. And to be fair, she probably
No, I don't think I am emotionally available, actually.
did. I'm sure he was great on paper and checked all the boxes, which is why she decided to go out with him in the first place. However, he selected her as just one of many options, and that's why he bounced when he saw that she wanted something serious and he just wanted to have fun. This is something that many other women are finding out as they get older.
Because I assumed that we were exclusive, but I asked him if he was talking to anyone else or seeing anyone else, and he said, well, am I going on dates? No, but I'm talking to other women, and I was like shocked. Absolutely shocked, and probably really brokenhearted.
Well, typically when a guy is really into a woman, this is what he wants to hear from a woman. He wants to hear that she's like ready to be monogamous. Like if he's really into a woman, this is typically what you want. You want her to come to you and suggest exclusivity. And so when a guy hears a woman come to him and say this, and he sort of rejects that idea and says, well, I'm still seeing other women. Yeah, he's really not. He's not into you. I mean, that's all it comes down to. You're just an option.
Because I probably could have, things could have gone.
And look, man, that sucks for her. That sucks for anybody who essentially wants to become exclusive with someone they're really into, and that other person doesn't feel the same way. I mean, that sucks for anybody, for sure. But it's like, what have you been doing this whole time? You're quite old. You weren't able to figure this out earlier on with all these men throwing themselves at you. You had the illusion of choice, the paradox of choice, and here you are,
Great.
Now this one is actually hilarious because she couldn't possibly fathom the idea that the guy would be talking to other women. Now in reality, guys are usually doing a little bit more than talking, but she really bought into the goddess mentality that she would be the center of his universe and that dating as a woman in your 30s and 40s would be so much fun.
So much fun.
Yep, so much fun. Now don't get me wrong here, as women get older they can still easily get many dates, that's not really the problem. What is the problem is that these guys that they actually want to date are going to put in less and less effort and are more likely to only be interested in a casual hookup.
In the text, he told me that he was still with his current GF, despite the fact that when he'd broken up with me, he told me he never wanted to be in a long-term relationship again. And then he shared that she has been with women before and has a threesome fantasy, and naturally he thought of me, and he wanted to know if I was single and possibly interested.
See, this guy had no problem sleeping with her, but he straight up told her, I don't want a girlfriend. After which he goes off and finds an actual girlfriend, who I'm assuming is younger than she is, and the fact that he even texted her about a threesome after he broke up with her clearly shows that he did not take her seriously at all.
That's ruthless.
And this is a sad reality for most women who are dating as they get older or are dating after a divorce. However, the lies and terrible advice don't just stop there, because in addition to creating this false fantasy land of dating in your 40s, women are now also telling other women to definitely don't do things that men actually appreciate or look for in a woman, or you'll become a pick-me girl, which is simply breaking them down even more.
I am not dating because I just found out, thanks to TikTok, that I am a pick-me girl in recovery. All this time, I thought that I was so loving and so giving and such a great partner. And I am, if you're looking for somebody who completely denies their own needs and wants and is like a Stepford wife.
Yeah, definitely don't be nice and loyal to your boyfriend or husband, right? I mean, that would be an insane request. So this is the vicious circle I'm talking about, of broken single women giving terrible advice to others who then become broken as well and will join them into giving more terrible advice to more women and sell more lies about the joys of dating as they get older.
Dating is actually super fun after divorce.
Yeah.
I texted him saying that I was done. I didn't hear from him. I texted him again saying, hey, are we gonna hang out? And nothing. And it was, I would say painful, but that wasn't the right word. I was living in a sea of pain.
Super fun.
I had no more heart to break.
Right, so much fun. Remember the Uber Eats girl who got ordered like takeout, being depressed about how low the bar was set?
Is the bar that low? Men, do better.
Well, this is what she actually gives out as advice to other women.
So number one, I think it's really important to have an older gentleman on your roster.
Okay, listen to what she actually says. Have an older man on your roster. This is the same woman who sat in her car crying that guys do not put in enough effort anymore. Geez, I wonder why.
Have an older gentleman on your roster.
Clearly, that dude was correct in putting in minimal effort since she was trying to date multiple men at the same time anyways. It's this type of delusion and having your cake and eating it too mentality that propels the lies that women sell to each other, after which they are confronted with the reality and run into a big fat wall. But wait, it gets much worse. Remember the dating after divorce super coach who was promising all of that leverage that you will have as a newly divorced single woman?
When it comes to dating after divorce, I just want to tell you, you have so much leverage and so many options I can't even tell you.
Well, let's take a look at how that actually plays out in reality.
Welcome to another edition of Disaster Dates by the Divorcee. The most gorgeous man I'd ever laid my eyes on came up and talked to me, and we had this whirlwind romance that was across the country until the point where he said that he never meant anything that he said to me and everything was a complete lie, and he says that to all the girls.
So what happened to all of that leverage? Well, I know, it never existed. Now some women see these clips and think, what a mean guy for doing that to her. But these are the same women who complain that men ghost them, and this dude was way more honest than he needed to be. He could have simply just faded away and ghosted her, or said, hey, it's not working out, bye. But no, he simply showed her the reality of dating as an older single woman. Which brings us to that very important and also controversial no-no word, or better yet, concept, which is simply that men prefer younger women, while women prefer older men. This is why women have it so easy when they are young, and can literally pick any guy they want.
Yeah, well, here's the problem. With older women on dating apps matching with men their age, if any woman, regardless of her age, perceives certain men on dating apps to be attractive enough to swipe right, if older women also perceive these men to be attractive enough to swipe right, younger women do as well. Now, there might be less younger women than there are older women swiping right on these types of guys, but that's okay. That's enough. Like, these guys are going to hold out for the younger women and potentially try and take them seriously if that's what they're looking for. And so these guys on dating apps that are getting all these matches from older women and younger women, why would they choose to commit to the older women when they're also getting matches with the younger women? And this is why it's pretty brutal, actually, if you think about it. Like, being an older woman, it's going to be really, really hard because you think, oh, I'll just go on dating apps. That's probably one of the worst things you can do, because your body count is just going to continue to go up and up. You're going to get more bitter. You're going to get more baggage. You're going to get more experience, which you don't want. You don't need that. That's, again, it's the paradox, and that's what's going to happen. So these women who are older, I mean, ultimately they are quite screwed, and a lot of times their best option is probably going to be knowing a friend of a friend, right? That type of meeting.
However, if they spend that time playing games thinking that the party will last well into their 30s and 40s, they will eventually get to a point where the balance of power shifts and men of their own age that they want to date are now dating younger women, and they will only date older women for some short-term bedroom fun.
And the pattern is when he doesn't need me anymore and he has somebody else that he can
cling on to that can provide him some sort of like validation through love, then he says terrible things to me to get me to go away. And I'm just really disappointed in myself because I knew better, you know, but I'm also grateful for the experience because now I really know better.
She still doesn't know better. You see, this is just another one of those nonsense lies where they are somehow always grateful for getting into a disastrous situation, after which they start living their quote-unquote best lives. Like, I'm so glad I got hit by the car in the face because now I know better. No, what would actually be better is for someone to tell you the truth about dating as you get older as a woman, which is that it will become much more difficult than you were used to, and that if you don't stay in shape, eat healthy, and offer kindness and loyalty as actual valuable traits, instead of a long list of demands like some sort of dating terrorist, then no guy is ever going to be interested in you long term, and you will only get played like a little girl. This was The Big Lie Sold to Women. Please drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel for more videos.
Well, men put women into categories. So you've got one category where it's like she's a virtuous, pleasing woman who provides value in my life. Okay, she could perhaps be wifey material. And then there's the other category where it's like, no, definitely not. She doesn't have any of these characteristics that I'm looking for. So in my opinion, I'm just going to hook up with her. And then, yeah, it's interesting. These women are calling that behavior that would put a woman into wifey category as pick me. So these women aren't engaging in that behavior, so they don't get picked. And then they get put in the category of fornication only. So yeah, there's another good video from FBE Capital. And again, to reiterate, less is more when it comes to women. Experience actually isn't going to help you in the realm of dating. Quite the opposite. And women are being preached and told that is not the case. And the more experience you get, the more money you make, the more you progress in your career, the more men you sleep with, the less sort of pick-me attitude you portray, the more quality man you will be able to command. And it's just not true.